Hey guys, Aubrey Morel here, owner of Morel Designs, and I thought I would just throw together a quick little video of how I made this Western style mug. I've had a lot of requests lately for some more tutorials. I haven't been putting out a lot of videos lately, I've just been too busy, but I was in the shop today working on some new designs and I wanted to share my process with you. So this is the first time I'm actually making this mug, so you'll kind of see I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want it to look like. I printed out a bunch of different leather tooling patterns off of the internet, and I just kind of looked at each one of them to see what would fit in the space. And this is the one that I liked the best because I could split it into two parts. So the paper can kind of get wet sometimes, so if you want to put a piece of plastic behind it, you can. I knew that I would be tracing this out pretty quickly, so I didn't feel the need to put the plastic behind there, but took my time to draw it out. I didn't go over all of the little lines. It's not necessary. I just wanted the proportions of the swirls and the flower to be correct, so that's all I traced out. A lot of times I'll get my either my terracotta pot or that's a 3D printed cone, just because this mug was still a little bit soft. I wanted to make sure that it stayed round. So I'll eventually take it out because it gets in the way, but for now it's working. Okay, so the mug was still pretty wet and it was a little bit too wet for me to continue work on the front design. So I moved around to the back and I wanted to do a diamond pattern, and I don't have the best tool for this, so I just used a ruler, which is what I had handy. I have ordered a leather tooling tool that is meant to create the diamonds, so waiting on that to come in, so hopefully that speeds up this process a little bit, but for now this also works. It just takes quite a bit longer and they're not exactly square but that's fine. This mug is for me, so I don't care too much, and it ends up looking cute in the end. So I went from the edge of the flower design on one side to the edge of the flower design on the other side. And then these are just some, I don't know how to pronounce it, Zyme tools that I bought recently, and I actually really like them. They're fully silicone, but they're kind of a hard silicone, so you can use quite a bit of pressure with them, but they still are softer tools than just metal ones. So I like those. I do have a link to them in the description. I have a link to almost all of the tools that I use in the description, except for the diamond core tools that I have, because I don't have an affiliation with them, although I love their products. So I'm just going back over those lines to make them a little bit deeper, more pronounced. There's probably a better way to do this, but again, I'm just kind of figuring things out as I go. So the next time I do it, I'll probably do it a little bit differently, but this worked. So I also forgot to mention that the shape of this mug I made with a pottery rib that I bought off of Etsy. So I'll try to include a link to that. I may not be able to. My description is a little bit too long. But you can find this on Etsy, and I think I paid like, I don't know, less than $10 for it. So, and the maker of it is fairly local to me, and I thought that was cool. I got it super fast in the mail. And it's a very interesting shape. So I have a 3D printer, but I have not figured out how to create my own pottery ribs yet. I can make the stamps, the logos and stuff like that. I have figured that out, but I do not know how to make my own ribs, and I need to because it would save me quite a bit of money. Anyway, I thought the shape was interesting, and so I really wanted to incorporate it in my new designs. Okay, so here I am adding the center mark. I started out using a pen, didn't quite like that, so I pulled out my leather tooling kit and found a flower center in there that I liked. It is actually just a mini little flower, but I thought it was cuter than just the circle. So going over all of the cross points to add that detail, and you can see where it got off. My squares are not square, but it's fine. Okay, now I'm going back in with tools again to add in little creases at each of the, I don't know what to call them, divot points. I tried a couple different tools, didn't quite like it. And I finally landed on one of the Xyam tools that you see there. That tool worked the best to create those. And I just thought it added a cute little tufting detail to it. Okay, now that I've got the back side finished, I'm going in with my diamond core tools. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put a picture up there. But I'm just deepening all of those lines. And then after that, I'll go back in with the other end of this tool, and then I'll kind of dig out around the design at a 45-degree angle, just to make it look like the flower and the swirls are a raised portion of the cup, and then everything else is kind of behind it. And now I'll flip that diamond core tools over, and I'll just use the wooden point on the other end. That was the best tool that I found. I tried a few different things, but I'm just carving out at a 45-degree angle to make it look like that portion is raised. And I'll do it anywhere that I want there to be a shadow. So in some of the folds of the flower or in the swirls, if I want one swirl to look like it's on top of the other one, I'll add a shadow in that area. And now I'll take a ball stylus tool, anyone will work, and I'm just adding in some texture details on the swirls, the leaves, the flowers itself. This just kind of adds some depth to the flowers, and I end up going over a lot of those lines that I carved in because I didn't quite like them, so the ball stylus tool hit those lines for me. That worked out pretty well. The next step is to take a small ball stylus tool, and I'm just adding about thousands of little dots in all of the areas between the swirls and the flowers. So anything that is background, I do with this dotted texture, and that just makes it look deeper and darker. Again, that puts emphasis on the flower and the swirls themselves. It makes them look raised. And then we'll also, when I add, I'm planning to add underglaze and wipe it back, and that will sit in the texture, so it'll just add a lot of depth to the piece. I also take this time to smooth out a lot of the lines because they do get deformed as you're working around them. So I just clean up the lines and add those dots, and then the mug should be finished. Also, I'm very sorry for the poor lighting. I have tried so many different lights out in this shop, and anything that is LED does weird stuff to my camera. And so you see these black lines slowly go across the screen, so I'm sorry for that. Hopefully someday we'll be able to get new lighting out here, or natural lighting, which would be best. Again, this is my first time making this piece in particular, so I'll continue to make improvements on the process, just as any of you probably do when you make multiples of things. But I thought I would just show you my process and how I came up with this adorable mug. And I've already made several more in a few different variations. If you are not following me on Facebook or Instagram, go over there because I do post a lot more stuff on there. I'll see you guys. Thanks.